And to ye we say good enough. Hello. Greetings, programs. Guess who is so sick of 85 plus weather? Oh my god. This bitch. Because it is, despite being overcast, despite being rainy, despite having my window open, my room is still 80 goddamn degrees, and I would have the fan on, but it's just so damn loud. And I just, you know what, I might just say fuck it. You know what, screw the audio quality. I'm turning that fan back on. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I want my heat. I don't want to overheat. I'm such a warm person. If that fucks up the audio quality, I apologize. But I also don't apologize. God, it's so hot. Anyway, haha. With that all out of the way, we are back in the comic making scene. Hopefully I fixed the chat window. And we are at the line art phase, which means we gotta lock in. What? Can I have the background? I try to have the background at smaller, thinner line art than the main characters, just to help them stand out a little bit. Okay, I think I'll try 3, but I don't want it too small. Because I still need to be able to color the damn thing. Alright, let's start with this one. And it's okay if you have an unsteady hand for working on backgrounds. Especially in a naturalistic environment. It just adds to the character. I don't know who said it, but I remember someone giving out advice saying that you need to treat the background like a separate character. It's the same with, like, movie making and whatnot. You treat the camera like a character. Because it moves with a purpose. So it's like, oh, you know what? I kind of like that. Perfect, enough. If I turn the opacity down, there we go. Just to keep it moving. In this scene, they're in the cave, as shown in page 213. And my law of backgrounds is, as long as it's vaguely the same, similar, it doesn't have to be exactly the same. Like, I don't have to map what the trees look like, as long as there's a tree in the same place as the tree was last time. Because despite what one incredibly boring creepypasta tried to sell as horror, trees don't move. That was a bit mean. Okay, it was an old creepypasta. I don't even remember. I think it was called something called like the trees near my village are moving. And it was just one of those, it was weird, but the horror aspect of it was you never knew where the tree was going to be the next morning because they only teleported at night. And there was one where a tree had completely skewered a cow. And it had bled to death because the tree just went and just spawned in at the same spot the cow was. It was like, okay, I guess that could be creepy. And there was something about the children. I don't know. It was a long time ago since I listened to it. It was one of those where it was like, okay, yeah, that was weird, and then never thought about it again. That is... Okay, I guess we can say that's fine. Let me just smooth it. No, not like that. There we go. I know a lot of people bitch about doing backgrounds in like comics and art, which I understand to a degree, but if you're gonna decide to do a comic or be an illustrator, you're gonna have to do some backgrounds, so... Buckle up, Buttercup! And also, with the way I do backgrounds, the line art is only there to let me know where things need to go. And just for simplicity's sake. But most of my backgrounds just come from texturing. Like, I have the line art here, but like the actual tree, like, it's 3 squiggles on top of each other. But look at that texture. Then again, this page can look a little weird because he's on an ancestral plane. And I didn't even draw this bush here, and I just put it there. Look at that. 3 brushes and some color. This is supposed to be a weeping willow tree, but I'm not sure how, accurate I'm being. But it's gonna be covered in fog anyway, so it's okay if it doesn't look the greatest. Now, I enjoy doing backgrounds because I started my artistic career as an illustrator. So I'm kind of used to having to just do the work for the backgrounds, but I understand if someone just doesn't do that typically. I had a point that I was gonna get to. Man, I had a point that I was getting to. What the hell? Oh, I also do... Most of my backgrounds for this comic are all nature inspired, so I don't have to worry about symmetry or straight lines or anything of that nature. Haha, nature. But if you're like doing a comic that takes place in the city, or is kind of like steampunk aesthetic, and you have to worry about actual mechanics and building placement, Godspeed. I do not like drawing buildings, which is why they never appear in like any of the art I do. Which is gonna be hell, because I have a graphic novel that I want to work on, and half of that story takes place in the city, and I want to die. I want to die. Just thinking about it, I'm like, oh god, I'll just hire someone else to do it. I swear I will. We got the coffee, and later I'm gonna break into the monster, which might be a mountain berry. Or Viking berry, that's what it's called. Viking berry. Okay, and for this guy, I use the line tool. Not that one. Wait, what texture did I use for the... I used the pen, not the G pen. Regular pen. And I know crystals aren't exactly straight either. And these are supposed to be unpolished and uncut, quartzes, I guess is the term, but this just looks so cool. So we excuse it anyway. I also need to be very careful that some of these gems, given their cylindrical tipped shape, don't look like a penis. Because I was sketching a few of them the other day and I was like, oh, that's bad. That's very unfortunately shaped. Let's change that. And I'm just, oh god, am I gonna get banned? If I just give them some odd shapes. No, that's even worse. I wonder how many of my other pages have some sus-looking quartzes in the background, because I just could not be bothered to think about the implications of cylindrical pointed shapes. Like that one Disney animator in, for the Little Mermaid cover. He almost got in trouble for that. Because if you don't know, the Little Mermaid had a, very suggestively shaped... This is Twitch, I can say it. It looked like he drew a dick in the background of the Little Mermaid, because it had, like, the castle under the sea, and it looked like a penis. I mean, it was very specifically shaped. And when in an interview, I guess he said, man, it was like 3 a.m. I was exhausted. I just needed to finish the piece. So I drew spires, submitted it, didn't think anything of it, and now the media is yelling at me. Sorry, I guess. Honestly, if this was a real quartz, it would just be a rocky blob. Oh, speaking of, we finally got the results in for the art fight winners this year. Finally got it in, and my team won! Team Crystal won! Pog! It was a good fight. It was so close, and I've only done art fight for like 4 years now. That is the closest I'd ever seen art fight go. Like, we were 50-50 split almost up until the very end. I should probably turn that off. When I saw the results, it had been so long, like, almost an entire month, I completely forgot what team I was on, so when I saw Team Crystal, I was like, yay, those guys, finally, whatever, I don't care. I'm once again on the losing team, and then I looked at the teams, and it was like, Crystal and Fossil. I was like, wait a minute, I'm Crystal. Hold up! PogChamp! I'm just gonna do very thin lines. Because I gotta shade it in later. I'm gonna keep the anti-alias... I don't know how to say this. I'm gonna keep the anti-thing on for this page. Because I usually don't have it off for the other pages. So it'd be weird if it just happened halfway through. But I'm gonna do one page the old way. And then the next page I do the other way and see how it looks. Because this is a fan comic, I can change the style, or at least the way I do something halfway through. I have done that before, no problem. A lot of people are, A lot of people, or like some of the changes they did were like, oh wow, this is actually quite an improvement. The backgrounds look so much better. It's like, oh, I thank you. Now, if I want to make it look less cartoony, I would just draw the trees and then render in the bushes with a brush. But the characters, look at this anime hair on this emo cat, okay? I don't give a shit if it looks cartoony. Look up my characters. Now for like lineless illustrations, oh, all the live long day. But for this comic, who's, like, the whole point of it is to just get some practice in. And figure out how comics work, and to tell a story, you know? If it was only for practice, I would just, I wouldn't have given so much time and thought into the story for these characters. But I did, so I guess I'm stuck here. Speaking of summer and me being ready for it to be over, I did a bad yesterday. It was good for my mental health because I was happy, but it's bad for me in the not really the long run, it's just bad because I started listening to some fall music yesterday, specifically vintage Halloween, because I think that's some of the best music ever made. And it was 95 degrees out yesterday, and I'm sitting here singing along with the Wobbling Goblin with his broken broom and Love Potion number 9. I was actually singing that in the shower yesterday. I was like, oh, damn. It's still summer. Halloween. I'm so sick of wearing tank tops and basketball shorts. I want to wear pants and hoodies. I hate summer because then it just feels like I'm just in my pajamas. Because my pajamas are tank tops and basketball shorts. So it's like, ugh, I'm just in my pajamas all day. I'm not being productive. A wobbling goblin with a broken broom could never fly too high. Right after takeoff, another piece would break off, and soon he would be dangling in the sky. Each evening, just as he would leave the ground, his radio would say, "Control tower to Goblin, your broomstick is wobbling, you better make the landing right away." Hello, phone. You know that gypsy with the drone kept tooth, and she started a pet on 34th and 5, selling little bottles of love potion number 9. Real talk, and this is kind of, I don't know how to say this, but it's one of my biggest struggles as a content creator, aside from marketing myself. My biggest struggle as a content creator and just my time on the internet in general is trying to pick a vibe slash aesthetic to, you know, to advertise myself to. I'm gonna turn off the background layer just so I can see what I'm doing. And here's the thing, I know what I like. That was never in question. I know what I like. I just don't know, like, what to commit to, in air quotes. I have commitment issues. Is if you look at my YouTube channel, my channel that is now collecting cobwebs because of YouTube's policies that are just bleh. Anyway. Teeth. My channel started as just being my persona and just art I was drawing. Which was fine, but then, like, I would see other content creators had a aesthetic or, you know, like a vibe. You can tell whose video it was just based on the vibes of the content. You're like, oh yeah, that's this creator. You know, like Twisted Disaster has a kind of spooky vibe to their art and their Twitch channel, even though most of what they're drawing is just fandom stuff. But like year-round at their channel, like their Twitch channel is like year-round Halloween because of the lore, in air quotes, of their VTuber of being a demon cat girl possessed by the spirit of a witch. Which is really funny. Ah! But then, you know, I was like, oh, I like the spook, so I'll make my channel more, cryptid core, or, you know, like, more ghoulish. Because I like that. And then I got really into... That face is so bad. Hang on. I got really into Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, out of nowhere, I got this weird obsession with Horizon Zero Dawn. And I rebranded my whole channel to try and match that aesthetic because I really freaking liked it. And I was also, like, getting more into solar punk, which I love solar punk. I still love it to this day. I just spent, like, 2 weeks rebranding my entire channel from the ground up, designing a new PNG tuber, a new aesthetic, and it only lasted for, like, a month before I gave up again and then got really into synthwave again out of nowhere. And then I spent a few days rebranding my entire channel to match the synthwave aesthetic. And my presence still kinda has the synthwave vibe, I think it's turned more, especially this channel, it's turned more to, retro futurism, which is what I actually like. I really like retro futurism. But it was always been hard for me, because even as, you know, like, younger, I really like Goblin Core. I like rock music. I love folk music. I love vintage 80s music. I like 80s music. I love 50s music. I absolutely love 20s jazz. I like so many different things that and at the same time, I felt like I had to pick one aesthetic to, like, match my whole vibe to. Because for some people it works. Like for Pumpkin Potion, with her channel, she's got the retro rubber hose animation style that is really cute and it works for her. But her content isn't focused on that, even though the VTuber's kind of lore, you know, as being a little ink creature, a little inkling, which is adorable. Not an inkling, that's from Splatoon. But you know what I mean. She's like, a lot of people say Bendy and the Ink Machine, but that's because, you know, Bendy was based on old Fleischer Bros rubber hose animation, which I say Fleischer Bros because because Bendy and the Ink Machine was based on Fleischer Bros and Disney to an extent, but more Fleischer. Which is cool. It works for her. It looks good on her. And I was like, yeah, I want people to, like, look at this aesthetic, to either look at my channel and think, oh yeah, this aesthetic, I like it. Or, you know, vice versa, to look at, oh my god, my aesthetic is ADHD coded. What is this neck? Okay, that looks better. Anyway, I wanted people to just, like, look at my channel and go, oh, this vibe, I like that vibe. Their whole... Or look at an aesthetic and go, oh, I keep thinking of Rune Space. It's very rune-coded, this one. But I've never been able to achieve that because, given my ADHD brain, I have commitment issues. And I just hyperfixate on something for weeks on end, up to months. And then I get sick of it. Not really sick of it, but it's like, I get bored because I like so many different things. I'm a multi media enthusiast. I like movies, I like comics, I like theater, I like musicals, but only select few musicals, because if I may say something controversial yet brave, yet completely off topic as well, I thought Hamilton was mid. Dare I say it? Oh, and my chat box is finally working. Yay! Chat box is working, and the first message is for reminding viewers to check out my Ko-fi link to help support the channel. Wonderful. Okay, he's just gonna look a little weird in this shot. Alright. Back to my hyper-focused conversation. I like so many different things and different aesthetics. And for the longest time I tried to, well, why don't I just pick, like, 2 aesthetics that I really like, and then just mix them? My brother in Christ, do you have any idea how hard it is for me to mix vibes? I can't even make a mood board. Like, I understand when something is a vibe, and I like vibes. But if you asked me to, like, make an example of that vibe, it's like, I don't know. I could make... I don't know how to make anything solar punk vibed, but if you asked me to make something like Horizon Zero Dawn or Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind, I could do that, but just solar punk in general, that's where the neurodivergency comes in. Specifics? Oh yeah. Generalizations? Huh? No comprendo. God, his anatomy is all off. It's all wrong. I'm going to draw... Okay, I'm gonna draw her last, in air quotes, because she's in the background here and she's gonna need a different line art, and it's so damn hard to choose line art size. So I'll get back to her. So it was a long time where I was trying so desperately to mix, like, Asgard vibes. No, not Asgard. Okay, with, like, dwarvish Viking vibes with dubstep. Because I like both those things. I was trying to mix that, and the only thing I could come up with is the MCU's Asgard. So that, okay, then maybe I could try to do Asgard vibes, but then trying to, like, mix and match different things that are Asgard vibes when there's not a whole lot of content. Despite Thor being one of the main Avengers, there's not a whole lot of, like, time spent in Asgard, which is a damn shame because Asgard is so cool. So that was a struggle. I just, as a neurodivergent person, naturally struggle with generalizations in general. The irony is not lost on me. So whenever I try to pick a vibe for something, it's like the worst thing you could ask me to do. I can give you a list of things that might work, but I can't actually make them work, you know? Like, mixing and matching genres, in theory, is really cool, and I like doing it. For my series Cosmic Castaways, it's kind of like Tolkien-inspired creatures like elves, dwarves, dragons, fairies, and whatnot, but it's Treasure Planet style with, you know, inspirations from The Dark Crystal and Babylon 5 and all that. And later, once I established the characters, see, this is the key point for me. Once I established the characters and the story, then the vibe came in later. So if someone asks, oh, what's your thing about? It's, well, it's about space pirates. It's about elves and dwarves and dragons that are space pirates a la Treasure Planet. And people, ooh, that sounds cool. It's like, it is. Let me tell you about Avalon. I need to change that eye shape. It's not correct for his emotion. Come on. There we go. Eh? Better. Better. Okay, his ear's a little off model, but we're allowed at least one off model ear every other page. Okay, I'm going to fill in the... Oops! And then later, I'll render in the eye shines. Never thought you would be standing here so close to me. There is so much I wish that I could say, but words can wait until some holiday. So kiss me once, then kiss me twice, then kiss me once again. It's been a long, long time. Never felt this way, my dear, since can't remember when. It's been a long, long time. It is unfair how good that song is. So glad they played that in Captain America. I would have never found that song otherwise. Okay, I'm gonna draw Ivy Whisper next. Well, actually, no, I'm gonna draw him later since, yeah, his line art would be thicker. You know, if you actually pay attention to the lyrics of that song, especially the first verse, it kind of, in a way, foreshadows Captain America's end with going back in time and being with Peggy. Because if you listen to the lyrics, it's, never thought that you would be standing here so close to me. There is so much I wish that I could say. But words can wait until some holiday. Do you honestly think Steve didn't desperately wish he could warn Peggy about Hydra infiltrating S.H.I.E.L.D., about Thanos, about the Infinity Stones, about literally everything that happens in the MCU? You think he didn't want to warn Peggy? There's so much I wish that I could say. But words can wait until some holiday. So kiss me once, kiss me twice, and kiss me once again. It's been a long, long time. At least that's my read of it. A lot of people say it was like out of character and that he acted selfishly and whatnot, and all valid arguments. I personally loved that Steve got to live with Peggy, got to be with her. I love that for him. Even if it's like, oh, this seems so out of nowhere. Well, he went back in time and just created his own timeline where he was there with her. And then, when Peggy, when he was in the hospital, whoops, that's weird. Peggy said, "You came back, it's been so long." That's probably what she said when he first walked in her door and they were dancing in the living room. She was probably just in shock. But then again, I'm also a sap and a total sucker for happy endings. Even if it doesn't make sense for the character. I don't care. My babies deserve to be happy. Oops. Oi! My pen's acting up. Oh, did y'all hear some good news that Twitch has finally started to, culling some of their chat bots? They're just, whoo! Fucking finally. Jeez, it took us how many years? But I don't think Twitch is gonna maintain this new policy because their viewership dropped 25%. So 25 or 24, either way, that's a ridiculously large number for such a big company. And they gotta look after their bottom line, investors, and shareholders. Despite what's good for the actual, patrons of the app. If shareholders start saying, oh my god, Twitch's viewership is dropping, it's dead in the water, they're gonna jump to something else, and Twitch is like, no, please, we're just getting rid of bots. But if you look at it this way, and they won't look at it this way, but I hope they do, look at it this way, those bots weren't real views. It wasn't real numbers. They were artificially inflated. So you technically didn't lose anything. Now that's just my opinion from the outside perspective. I don't know if those chatbots actually added something like streaming wise, if they added something that they are invested in or not. But I think that them finally getting rid of them is the first step to greatness. They're not going to continue. They're going to see how much it dented their numbers, and they're like, whoops, wow, that's a lot. Instead of saying, oh, this is a large problem that we've let go on too long, we need to fix this now. It's going to cause problems in the short term, but in the long term, it'll be quite the investment. But no, they're just going to see the numbers immediately, right now, and panic, while their shareholders are like, oh my god, what are you doing? like, no, please, guys, just calm down. Look at the big picture here. But they won't. They won't. I mean, look at what Cracker Barrel did. Speak of the fucking devil. Hello, chatbot. You are getting... Where is the ban? Thanks for nothing. It literally said, buy cheap viewers. Did y'all see that? Oh my god. That is so fucking... That is fortuitous. Serendipitous, may I say. Are they listening? It heard me say chatbots more than 5 times, and I was like, oh? You whooped them? And it's like, no! Die! God, that is so funny. Get the fuck out of here. Prime Gaming, too. I'm not from New York at all, but when I get upset about something, it comes out. Even though I've never been to New York, I've never stepped foot in New York State. Yeah, not even at an airport. Never been. My mom's from New York, but she's like from, you know, upstate. She's not from the island of Manhattan. That is so funny. That just proves my point that 25% is just the tip of the iceberg, and Twitch should keep going, because they're still here. They're still here. I should add to my chat rules as bannable offensives just being a bot. So glad I saw that in time. That would have been embarrassing. The only bot I allow in this chat is my Ko-fi bot. That's too much. So much I wish that I could say. I think what I'm gonna do... Whoops. Is I'm going to just straight through do the line art for these pages and then come back and color them. Except maybe the first 2, because they're being posted next week and I need to get on that. I gave myself a bit of a crunch. Bit of a crunch time, especially with how much detail's coming into these next few pages. But I can pull through. I can manage. If I don't get too distracted. Lol. That ear is all wrong. There we go. There we go. There is so much I wish that I could say, but words can't wait until so kiss me once, then kiss me twice, then kiss me once again. It's been a long, long time. Never felt this way, my dear sons. Can't remember when. It's been a long, long time. You know what's funny? In one of the next few pages, I draw some hyper-realistic cat paws. Which is funny because I only draw them with 3 toes, even though cats have 4. Technically 5 if you count their little thumbs. On your Sunday closes, lots of world out there. Hopefully the mic is picking up everything okay. I did change the settings for my mic and added a few more filters. Hopefully it doesn't sound like garbage. Because the last stream, I had no idea just how loud I was being and how much the noise gate was just crackling with everything I was saying. It's like, oh. Especially when I started ranting, so hopefully it doesn't do that this time. But I also do have a fan under the desk, so it's gonna pick up more noise whenever I talk. Which is on Forge. It's been a long, long time. Never felt this way, my dear, since can't remember when. This ear is gonna drive me insane. Alright. Good. Good-ish. My hands are so sweaty. I don't like it. I don't like being sweaty. Ah, that's too much. Mm. Long, long time ago, I can still remember the day the music died. Did you write the book of love, and do you have faith in God above? If the Bible tells you so, do you believe in rock and roll? Can music save your mortal soul? Can you teach me how to dance real slow? Well, I know that you're in love with him, 'cause I saw you dancing in the gym. You both took off your shoes, and I did those rhythm and blues. I was a lonely teenage broken boy with a pink carnation and a pickup truck, and I knew I was out of luck the day the music died. And we were singing bye, my Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty heat. Oh my god, hold on. Yink, yink, yink. There we go. One thing you gotta know about me, future or past, past, what? Future viewers. I sing when I get bored. And it is either me singing the same part of the same song for hours on end, or singing different parts of multiple songs for hours on end. But that's only if the chat room is quiet. Which, most streams of mine, it is. Like, one person. Which is fine. I'm okay with that. Most of my viewer base was on YouTube, anyway, and I didn't really expect them to follow me over to Twitch, since YouTube and Twitch are, like, completely different beasts when it comes to, you know, content setup. And a lot of my viewers were from Europe anyway. It's like, you know what, it's okay, I can start over from scratch. It's just gonna hurt a little bit. And I know what needs to be done. Yeah, there's my next trophy bot. I know what needs to be done, marketing-wise. I need to post clips and compilations and whatnot on YouTube, but I just Ugh. I don't like the direction YouTube is going, and I just don't want to be associated with any of that. Not to say Twitch is any better, but currently, with the state of things and the way things are going, it looks like Twitch might be better. For now, anyway. Watch. Give me 1 month, and I will be eating my words, and I'll come crawling back to YouTube, or just completely crawl in a hole and die because all the websites just went to hell. Wouldn't that be funny? This is gonna be the first the first clip I post on YouTube. Is gonna be this clip. No, I was out of luck the day the music died. We were singing by my Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, "This'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die." And that's really the only, like, if I'm listening to the song, I know the lyrics, but off the top of my head, completely dead in the water. I don't, no idea what the lyrics are. Except the chorus and maybe a few lines from the other verses. While the king was looking down, the jester stole his thorny crown. The courtroom was adjourned. No verdict was returned. And that's about it. The three men I admire most, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, they entered the last train for the coast. Bye, my Miss American Pie. From a Chevy to the left. I also remember the Weird Al Yankovic parody, the Star Wars saga with American Pie. It was like, very well done. My, this here Anakin guy. Maybe Vader someday later, now he's just a small fry. He left his home and kissed his mommy goodbye, saying soon I'm gonna be a Jedi. Soon I'm gonna be a Jedi. It's so funny. Now, I didn't do another bad, but I did do something that was like, oh god, I should have known that it was gonna take me a while to adjust. Really, while I'm starting to try to get back in the comments again, I switched out my monitors and my desk setup. Because for my old setup, I had it's not a Windows 98, but it was like an old computer monitor as my main monitor that was very narrow and kind of boxy. And my current monitor, which was actually my old monitor, was my secondary monitor used for like looking at reference sheets, and it's where I would put Streamlabs when I was streaming, so I could see chat. But I was like, you know what? Ugh. I looked at the formatting for my comic and how it changed as soon as it literally changed as soon as I switched monitors, and I'm like, oh, I don't like that. So I switched them back, and I wanted to do this anyway. But now I was like, oh, I have to adjust to moving my cursor more because the screen is larger. So yesterday when I was like doing this, refining the sketches for these pages, my arm actually started to hurt because it's up on the desk now. It's not on the secondary layer where the keyboard would be. It's up here. And I'm not bitching. I'm just like, oh, huh. Yeah, right. I gotta physically readjust to a different way of drawing now. Or revert back to the old way I used to draw. And it just feels weird. I don't remember the screen being this big. I think it was because, in my old setup, I had chat on the same screen because I had like a pop-out for me to look at chat, so like the drawing was a little smaller. But I think I'll try this to see if it's okay. Again, it's just gonna be a bit of adjusting. No, there was a beetle on my desk. I also used a different pen. Oh, I just realized I was still using the pen tool, not the G pen. Oops. Oh well. Ugh, stretch break. We'll see how this works. Oh, my legs. Okay. Oh. Hmm. There we go. I saw him on the stage. My hands were clenched in fists of rage. No angel born in heaven can break the Satan's spell. I think we're good on the line art. Oh. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna move this text. Move it over here. Dink. There we go. Ugh. Okay, that's more like it. And as part of the line art, I also include the character's eyes, because I just am extra like that. But never on the same layer. Included, but not on the... Included in the process, but not on the same layer. Music died. Line art for that page is done! It only took us an hour! Oh, God. Okay, next page. Pages. Here we go. Now, I already did the backgrounds line art here, so I saved myself that heartache. But the sketches I still need to do. And I think what I'm going to do for this character, I think I'm going to just copy-paste the sketch into the line art. Because this was already pretty... Sometimes I have done that. If the sketch is, like, really clean, I'll just copy-paste it and then add it to the line art layer. Like... no, these are still pretty messy. Same with... this can be messy. It's okay. Sketch, copy, paste, merge down, deselect. I'm going to add these paw prints to the background line art, because there's no reason why they wouldn't be there. There we go. Now, that's all I need to do. It's funny, like, oh, I'm saving so much time by doing it this way. It's like, no, it's still the same amount of time. The same amount of work, it's just less is being live streamed. Oh, I said I was gonna try the... I'm gonna go back to the G pen. This texture is just driving me crazy. I don't know if this is gonna work. Okay, let's just draw him. Oops. There we go. And then we'll see if this looks good. Because if it doesn't, then we can just move on. And I'll keep it, because whatever. At a distance, it's not even that noticeable. But it will be a lot easier in the coloring phase. Because there's no extra stray pixels I need to keep track of. So I think this is good. What is this expression? Okay, that's better. It's more proportionate. There we go. Well, I hope people enjoy the background music. I'm just gonna say that's good enough. Mostly because the caffeine is not caffeinating. I also had to wake up a little earlier than I usually want to. Because we were expecting someone and then she didn't come around until like 10. It's like, oh, damn. Okay. Awesome. You know what? I'm gonna get the monster now. This one's Viking Berry. Cheers. Mm-hmm. Much better. No, it's a little too... There we go. He's sassy, not angry. He's sassy, not angry. Nice and sassy. Sassy. All the hippos. I don't want to get next to many. Have I made it my life's mission to make Shorttail look super cunty in every panel he's in? Not really, but it's just how it's happening. The one drawback of drinking Monster on stream. I gotta burp a lot. And I'm probably gonna have to use the bathroom in like, 5 minutes. I'll convince myself it's worth it. And I actually did add a BRB sprite. It's very simple. It's just my tablet floating there. Okay. That needs to be out more. There we go. Okay, this one's gonna need a lot thinner line art. Probably down to a 3 or a 2. Yeah, this 2 will do. The 2 will do! Make his eyes a little wider, so they're not so baby. Even though I really hope audiences realize that Lion Stripe is baby girl. I really hope people realize that in the future. But it's gonna take a long time to get there, bud. I did work ahead on the script. All I need to do is just thumbnail the pages. And then do the sketching, and then the line art, and then the coloring, and then the rendering, and then the saving, and then the blah 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 blah, and then the everything else. But we're sketched and ready to go. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Great. Now that I said sassy in a very specific way, I got the fucking Moto song stuck on my head. Specifically, they think I'm funky. My name is Moto. Yeah, you say it double. Some of them, girl. Because they've been... TikTok has been using that audio for a lot of thirst edits for, like, the Saja boys, and I'm just... Ugh. Of course, I had to watch the baby one on repeat for hours, basically. Because I'm mentally ill. There we go. Man, speaking of YouTube and shorts and TikTok and whatnot, it's so funny. August, I had planned to be, like, my lock-in month for YouTube. Like, I was gonna make a whole bunch of shorts advertising my comic, and it was gonna use a bunch of meme edits, and it was gonna be really funny. Because I had them all. I didn't sketch them out, but I had, like, the ideas planned. It was like, as soon as Art Fight's over, I'm gonna get on this. And then... the everything happened. And I'm just, damn. Well, now what am I gonna do with all this potential advertisement? Right now, nothing. Until I figure something out. But I mean, technically, I could still make them. I'll just post them. I'll just create a RuneSpace Tumblr, which I'm honestly leaning more towards that. Using Tumblr instead of YouTube. But... YouTube is one of the biggest platforms for a reason. Not just because it's been here a long time, and a lot of people are just on the app. But it also, it's just streamlined the process. And it's made for this. For broadcasting yourself. But... I don't know, guys. I don't know. Not even 5 minutes later, I have to use the bathroom, so... hilarity ensues. I will be right back. BRB gang. My troubles down to Madame Rouge. You know that gypsy with that gold-capped tooth. She's out of pad on 34th and 5, selling little bottles of love potion number 9. I told her I was a flop with chicks. I've been this way since 1956. She looked at my palm and she made a magic sign. She said, what you need is love potion number 9. She bent down and turned around and gave me a wink. She said, I'm gonna fix it up right here in the sink. It smelled like turpentine and looked like India ink. I held my nose, I closed my eyes. I took a drink. I didn't know it was a day or night. I started kissing everything inside. But then I kissed a cop on 34th and 5. She broke my little bottle of love potion number 9. Da-da, 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 da-da. I held my nose, I closed my eyes. I took a drink. I didn't know it was a day or night. I started kissing everything inside. I had so much fun that I'm going back again. I wonder what happened to love potion number 10. Love potion number 9. Love potion number 9. Such a good song. The best version of that song was done by the Clovers in 1959, I think is when their version came out. Which I absolutely love, but I'm also like, damn! Because I wanted that song to sort of be referenced, or at least featured, depending on how lucky we get, in my web series Gatesville. But the point of when that song would play in Gatesville would be in 1940. Would be in the 1940s. The Clovers weren't a band in the 1940s, or at least their cover of that song had not come out yet. So I'm just fucking damn. Cursed by my need for continuity. Because the thing with Gatesville, it is an alternate history story, but it's also urban fantasy. And because I really hate when urban fantasy is like, oh yeah, this is taking place in the Victorian era, and then they proceed to feature none of the Victorian etiquette or like fashion. They're like, it's just a mix of Edwardian. You know, it's like steampunk Edwardian. It's like, pick a year. Is this before or after indoor plumbing was invented? Because it was invented by the Victorians in that era. Same with, are they still using arsenic? That's important details to know. Do they still put chloroform in their cough medicine? That's a very important detail to know if you're gonna write an urban fantasy. Or just any historical fiction. I know it's like, oh, it's fiction, you don't have to worry about the details of it. Yeah, but if you're gonna say... If you're just saying, oh yeah, this is historical fiction, and then not have a set time period, I'm fine with that. But if you're going to specifically say, this takes place here, fucking make it take place there. When I say, Gatesville takes place in the 1940s, I researched the fuck out of the 1940s and made sure I was using recipes that were from the correct era. I used fashion. I am gonna be using music. Maybe, I don't know, copyright and whatnot. I start the episode with a fireside chat that happened a few months prior. That leads into the main theme of the pilot episode. Pay attention. Do your research. If you're going to go the mile. If you're going to explicitly say it is from specifically this time period, that means you're going to put in the work. If you don't want to put in the work, don't say what it's based on, and just say we took inspiration from blah de blah. Or it's like, oh yeah, it's vaguely this, this, and that. It's like, okay, less egregious. All is forgiven. But if you're gonna say this is based on, or like, we were not inspired, because I just said that as an example. It's like, this is supposed to be set in this time period. I'm going to lean in close to the mic and scream in your ear, then fucking do it! Don't say this story is going to be based on 13th century, what the fuck? 13th century France, and then use fashion from 5th century Germany. What the fuck? Pay attention. Because your audience will be paying attention, and when you don't pay attention and the audience does, the audience is gonna get angry. And you don't want your audience angry. As much as companies seem to think rage baiting is good marketing, it's not. It's fucking not. Because all you've done is made me pissed off, and I'm not gonna watch the movie because I don't want to engage with things that piss me off. You know? I refuse to do it. I got better things to do with my time than spend it ripping out my hair. My gorgeous hair. You know? Think it through, princess. Almost forgot Brindlefur again. But that might just be my autism talking. That's not right. Hold up. There we go. Now, I will say, going back to my historical fiction rant with Gatesville, feasibly, if I were to create a world where vampires, werewolves, wolfmen, cambions, and demons existed, I wouldn't base it on history, because the world's history would be completely different. It wouldn't be the same, but with vampires. It feasibly wouldn't be. So the fact that I'm still writing history the same way, with these in addition, is gonna make it a little bit harder to explain away certain political policies that would be put into place, but with the way I'm writing these the lore of these creatures, it is different than the typical lore. So I am giving myself a little bit of wiggle room. The analogy is still there, but it's just kind of, you know, more like jello than concrete. Present still holds shape, but, you know, has some wiggle room. Can be squeezed around. You know? But where I want to be historically accurate, I am being 100% historically accurate. Where I want to be. I will admit, I am engaging in ye elden cherry picking. Okay, the line art is done. Just need to do the eyes. Because, like, there was this one, I think it was a Netflix movie called Bright, and it had orcs and fairies and pixies and whatnot, and elves in it. And it was just supposed to be the modern world, but with this in it. And a lot of people were saying it was lazy world building because a character said, hey, people still blame my people still get blamed for the Alamo. It was like, the Alamo still happened with orcs and fairies in this world? Were they just not present? Or were they there? Was Davy Crockett an elf? Which is when then you get into the argument of the secret hidden world, like in Men in Black. A lot of people bring up Harry Potter of the secret magic world, but a lot of people completely forget about Men in Black. They got flashy thingy. They forgot about the Men in Black. That is another example of the secret magic world, or the secret hidden magical world. Because they say, oh, Elvis didn't die, he just went home. So, what? They just casually dropped the lore that in their world, Elvis was an alien. But for my story, Gatesville, it's not secret, it's not hidden, it's out in the open. It's just treated as a separate thing, you know? Like, the Hunter Corps in Gatesville is treated like another branch of law enforcement. Highly specialized law enforcement, but law enforcement all the same. Alright, now I had... This is going to... This... You guys, sneak peek. Exclusive. This sketch is going to be a very important character later. Maybe. I don't actually have anything written, just plans. But I can't remember the eye color, so I will come back to it. I think it was... I know it's... that... and that. Maybe. I don't know. It's droid! It's Elastic Droid! As a cat! No, I'll change the colors later. I just know it's blue-green heterochromia because that is very popular among cats. It smelled like turpentine and looked like India ink. I held my nose, I closed my eyes. I took a drink. I didn't know it was a day or night. I started kissing everything inside, but then I kissed a cop on 34th and 5. He broke my little bottle of love potion number 9. God, I love that song so much. Since these guys just have the solid eye color because they're in the distance, they don't get the special treatment of the highlight and shadow and the eye shines that I insist on adding I insist for some reason that every character I ever illustrate has at least 3 eye colors. I don't know why I fucking do that. I do it all the time. Not Gatesville, because Gatesville is solid colors because it's supposed to be animated, but Dreamwalkers has it. Oh my fucking god. My main OC has it. I'm a glutton for self-punishment. Call me a Dami mommy. Don't do that. Do not do that. That was a joke. Please, I don't want any fan art. I don't want any nicknames. The only cringy fan art you're allowed to draw is me in a fedora. That's the only cringy fan art we're allowed to do. Oh god. You couldn't see because I don't have a webcam, but I was pointing very poignantly at the chat. I was yelling at my Ko-fi bot. That one's done. We are at a bit of a crossroads, because what I can do is I can continue on working on the line art for these next few pages. Or I can skip to the coloring phase on the first 2 because they are going live next week. And I do want to showcase the coloring phase that isn't this Friday. You know what I'm saying? Like, tomorrow or even tonight, I can go ahead and do the line art for all these and start the sketching. And then Friday, do the coloring for the other pages. So I think we're going to do that. Just so I can show off my coloring skills. I think I'm just going to do the flats for now. So I fear if I don't, and if I like try to do the backgrounds when I'm still a little rusty on doing my comic backgrounds, it's really gonna get boring because I'm just gonna be sitting there staring at it going, why doesn't this look good? So I'm just gonna do the flats because that's the easiest to do. And then we'll move on from there. Smell like up and down and look like India ink. Got my nose, I close my eyes. I didn't know it was a day or night. I started kissing everything inside. I had so much fun that I'm going back again. I wonder what happened to love potion number 10. Love potion number 9. I think I'm gonna put Ivy Whisper and Splashbot on the same layer. Just so I can keep things organized, while Snowblaze is gonna be on a layer below them, so there's no awkward overlap. Okay, and then below that is Snowblaze, who's solid white. Not solid white, but, you know, she's got orange tabby bits in there. Nope, my bad. Dink. There we go. The only downside to doing coloring this way is you do very much have to keep track of what character is on what layer, because you do not want to fuck that up. As someone who has fucked it up in the past, you don't want to do that. So do yourself a favor. Always triple check what layer you're on. Or have layers clearly labeled. It makes it so much easier in the long run. You won't be pulling your hair out later. Okay, I'm gonna do Snowblaze now. And her patches are, oh, they're airbrushed, and her stripes are the G-Pen. Okay. Since this is a wide shot, I don't think I'm gonna worry about the airbrushing. But I am gonna worry about the pixels. Good God. Yeah, from now on, I'm turning the anti-whatever fucking thing off. I need my pixels to be in order. And then the Ko-fi bot is back. I don't know, does that ruin the chatting experience for people who, like, click on real quick, see that the chat is only the Ko-fi bot, and they're like, no thanks. Like, is that it? Is it a deal breaker for people? Because personally, when I'm, like, scrolling through and I see a streamer only has, like, 2 or 1 viewers, I immediately sign in and say, hey, yo, what's going on here? Be like, oh my god, hi, thank you for joining us. Oh. I know some people, like, the marketing says that the more viewers a streamer has, the more likely people are going to tune in to, like, see what all the hubbub is about. But I'm a hipster. If something isn't doing well, or if no one is checking something out, I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Why is no one tuning in? And then sometimes I'll tune in and go, oh, that's why, because you suck. And sometimes it's like, aw, that's just a little guy. Yeah, little guy. Oh. Yeah, here's a follow. There you go. Here's some chat engagement. Because I know what it's like to be a small streamer. I am one. It's not that, oh, I remember back in the day. No, it's still me, bro. Still me. Even after 4 years of trying to get a monetized YouTube channel. 4 years of trying to get my YouTube channel monetized. Still haven't done it. I am, you know, not one of those success stories where people are like, oh yeah, I just started uploading videos and like overnight I became an internet success. And I'm like, yeah, what's it like to be a CSGO player? You know? Let's say, yeah, what's it like to be a gamer? If I started posting like gaming streams and whatnot, oh, I know. I know. If I started doing furry porn, I know. I know what I need to do to be successful. It's just those things that you do to be successful, I don't want to do. I don't want to create a Twitter account just so I can boost engagement by sharing links and whatnot. And like, oh, you need to connect with your community. It's like, you know what? I can do that on stream. I don't want to get a Twitter account since they're also doing the ID verification thing that YouTube is doing. Haha, poggers. Same with Reddit. Thanks, UK. Politicians. How to make the world suck for everybody. I swear to God, they have a manual that is literally saying how to make the world suck. Or how to make having fun be inconvenient. Because there's no fucking way they do this by accident. It's gotta be on purpose. Excuse me. Since she's kind of out of focus here, I'm gonna make it a little blurry. There we go. I'm gonna blur her patches just a little bit since they are airbrushed in the what is it called? Ref sheet. I forgot the word. I guess I'll do it here. Because you don't want the, like, the stark pixels taken away from the experience, you know? Oh, There we go. Do 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 do. Da 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 da. She bent down and turned around and gave me a wink. She said, I'm gonna fix it up right here in the sink. It smelled like turpentine and looked like India ink. I held my nose, I closed my eyes. I took a drink. Mmm. That's not right. That's not right at all. Slightly off model, but who cares? Who cares? I care. This doesn't bug me. Ugh. Okay, I think that's good. For now. I think what I'm gonna do is okay, I'm gonna do the flats for these next 2 pages, and depending on my energy level, we've been streaming for what, 2 hours? Yeah, if I can keep the energy level and I'm not tired, I'll just keep going. I think that's what I'm gonna do for Twitch instead of YouTube. But, you know, like YouTube is like, you know, it's 4 hours. I should end here. I could end. You know, we got a lot of work done. Nah, for Twitch, I'm just gonna be, hey, we're done when I run out of batteries. And we're just done it. Now, last stream we did have to end because I didn't have anything. We've completed the checklist. It's like, oh. But now that I scripted ahead and whatnot, we can just, like, switch gears completely at any point. And I also have some other character references from a completely different project that I could also be working on. Okay, I'm gonna do her ears and nose on the same layer just to keep it all together. And they're very small details, so it's fine. I said it's fine. There we go. Okay, this is the... E. That's not a bit. There we go. Jeez. Oh, pardon. It's the most tiny, minuscule detail. You'll never see it. That is the biggest issue I have with making comics. I get so wrapped up in the details, I forget that you ain't gonna see half that. Like, There. You know, it's funny. We're gonna be switching topics automatically, so y'all just need to keep up. I didn't realize. I honestly keep forgetting. I keep forgetting just how asexual I am. Because, you know, I'll look at some fictional characters and whatnot, I'm just like, whew, boy, okay, am I even asexual with the way I've been thinking? Damn. But then I recently, and by recently, I mean this morning, watched a video talking about the, career and weird transformation of Zac Efron, and how, as a teenaged boy, adult women were flirting with him and asking him to take off his shirt and saying he was hot. It's like, this is a child, y'all realize that? And then just this video of him on stage, and he's like received an award, and he's like, I'd like to thank my fans, and then this random woman comes out of nowhere and like rips his shirt open. And the crowd just starts screaming. This crowd of probably adult women and teenage girls started screaming, and he's like, you know what, yeah, I'll take off my shirt. And I'm sitting here like, okay, I'm looking around, like, okay, wait. I'm ace. I'm totally ace. I forgot. Don't get me wrong, Zac Efron is kind of cute, but he's not like, I'll go to jail for it cute, you know? He's not like, I'll sexually assault a minor cute, you know? Because that's what those women were doing. They were sexually assaulting him. But it's okay, because he's hot. It's like, no, that's not right at all. That's in fact very bad. Don't do that. Yeah, don't do that, adult women. Shaking my finger at them. Don't sexualize minors. I don't care how, air quote, hot you think they are. That is a child. Now he's an adult, and it's like, and people are like, oh my god, he was so hot as Troy. Troy, yeah. And I'm just, I watched High School Musical, not when it came out. Like, by the time I got around to watching it, the hype had already died down. It was like nostalgia for everybody. And I watched it, it was like, this movie's kind of mid. Granted, the songs weren't terrible, from what I remember. It was just very simple. Very simple. Kind of boring. It was meh. It was aight. And I remember watching it going like, this is the movie my classmates wouldn't shut up about? This is the guy my classmates wouldn't shut up about? And then I watched the documentary and I'm like, oh, it is so much worse. It is so much worse. No wonder why this man has, like, self-image issues and desperately wants to not be typecasted as the pretty boy. You know? God, it's so disgusting. And again, that's Hollywood for you. It's a lot of creeps in Hollywood. I can't say the word or I'll get in trouble, but my god. So if there are any aces out there listening to in chat, and if you feel, if you're like questioning your sexuality and whatnot, don't worry. Every ace goes through that. Everyone of every sexuality is like, wait a minute, am I actually this, or am I just, you know, or is it not that? Immediately, if you're feeling ace, immediately watch like some video of a celebrity being shirtless and a bunch of women screaming or whatnot. Just what like fan service. I hate to say this is a bad thing. This is bad advice, but like just look at fan service. You'll feel more ace than you ever have in your entire life. That's how I felt this morning. It was like, oh my god. Why did I ever doubt myself? I am completely ace. But it's also just, that was disgusting. If I'm gonna be all hot and bothered about someone, it's gonna be a fictional character. Besides, and it's more like the idea of them. Would I actually, like, go for it in the heat of the moment? No. Take me to dinner first. Let's be... let's have some conversations, man. Let's get the ball rolling there. Then we'll see where things go. What's the wrong setting? I feel sorry for Zach. I know, he's a Hollywood star, so obviously he's got oodles of money and has never been hurting that way. But, you know, for, like, the movie Baywatch, he was literally dehydrated the entire time to keep his muscles, like, visible and whatnot, which I think, honestly, is a terrible, terrible practice that needs to stop effective immediately. In fact, it should have stopped yesterday. This man developed insomnia and depression because of it. It's like, yeah, I get it, man. I would too. I would hate the idea of being typecasted. Because then that's all you'll ever do. That's all anyone will ever think of when they look at you. Even if it's not your personality at all. Like, that's a bad example, but kind of what happened. Michael Kovich. He, like, a lot of people know him from voicing Angel Dust. Who was an asshole character. But then he voiced N. Who is a sweetheart. And then, you know, he also voiced Jax from Amazing Digital Circus. Now, I love Jax's character. I've only seen the first 2 episodes of Amazing Digital Circus. Don't at me. I've only seen the first 2 episodes, and I love Jax's character. I think he's genuinely funny to me. No spoilers, please. But when people, like, heard Michael Kovich was voicing Jax, and they're like, oh my god, he's so mean. It's like, yeah, that's just gonna be Jax's character. He's voiced... Just because he's voiced by Michael Kovich, or Kovich, I think it's Kovich, doesn't mean he's gonna be an ubu soft by golden retriever, even though that is kind of Michael's personality. It's just so weird to me that it's like, you know, he was doing voice acting long before the Hazbin Hotel pilot, right? Y'all know this, right? Where's the shock coming from? Granted, I do think it was just a bunch of kids complaining. Honestly, I think that's what it was. A bunch of kids were complaining that doesn't understand that voice acting in general is basically lying and not an honest representation of the person. They are actors. But I don't know. Maybe I'm not giving them enough. Maybe I'm not giving kids enough credit. But also at the same time, the internet has ruined the minds of children. I will fully admit that. As an internet defender, I will admit we've kind of dropped the ball. There we go. You know, like, y'all realize Angel Dust is an asshole too, right? He's a fucking asshole. So why is everyone going like, ooh, woo, soft boy, Michael Kovic? It's like, not a lot of people watched Murder Drones. Did a lot of these people, were they introduced to him via Murder Drones? Because Murder Drones was adorable. N is also adorable. He's a little golden retriever, ooh, soft. Not really ooh, soft boy, because he's still a murder drone. Let's not forget, still a demon. And I don't know, it's just this weird trend of... With Zach, it was hypersexualization, and then with Michael, it's infantilization. So it's like, okay, both are bad, but where are they coming from? You know, it's really gross when both are happening at the same time. The infantilization and over-sexualization. It's like, ugh. I think that happened with Alistair from Hazbin Hotel. Now, this is just from what I've seen from the internet. It's either he doesn't know what sex is and engages in engages in fan service and whatnot, or he fully knows, engages in fan service, but then they're like, Arrow Ace people can still engage in sexual activity. Shut the fuck up. Stop it. Why does everyone why does everyone want to fuck Ace characters? It's just not fair. We work hard being Ace. It's a lot of work carrying all this sexy energy around with the garlic bread and the dinosaurs. You know how hard it is? We gotta take over Denmark. We can't have y'all horny people following us around. We gotta... we ride at dawn. It's just... bleh. Stop it. Get some help. Now, if you're going to draw an Ace character in something that is seen as sexy, or if they do that to themselves, like, I'm Ace, so, but then if I draw my Sona rune in, like, some lingerie or whatever, that's me owning it. I'm owning that. I'm owning my sexuality. I'm just wearing lingerie, which isn't inherently sexy, but it is sexualized. Like boobs. Look at my Sona and tell me that I don't have boobs. I got boobs, okay? How long can I say this word without getting tagged? I have cups. They're more like mugs, but you know, but you get the idea. That's not me sexualizing an asexual character. That's just me existing in a space, in a hypersexualized world. It's like... This is probably a terrible example. It's like the N-word. When other people... When... say it, it's fine. But when someone else does it, That was such a bad example. Nobody clipped that. That's bad. That's wrong. Nobody clipped that. Oh god. That was a bad example. Let me try to think of a better one while they try and save my floundering career. Okay, and it's exact opposite for Ivy. His stripes are airbrush. Because I like to wear clothes that I feel cute in, and some people are like, that's very revealing. You should go change your clothes. It's like, why? I'm not. I don't. I'm not asking for attention, because just because you're wearing clothes doesn't mean you're asking for attention. You know how you actually ask for attention? You do it by acting and saying, I am looking for attention. Your clothes do not suggest a motive. Mostly. If you're dressed like an officer and people run up to you and go, oh, officer, thank goodness. I'm like, oh, just because I'm dressed this way. Anyway. Why should I have to change the way I dress so other people don't get the wrong idea about me and try to do something about it? Because if they try to do something about it, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put them on their ass. If I wanted your attention, I'd ask for it. And I'm not doing it with my clothes. I'm just wearing what is comfortable and what looks good. Alright? It's 95 degrees out. Of course I'm wearing small shorts and a tank top with a very low-cut tank top. I don't like the heat. I'm not asking for attention. I'm not asking to be ogled or molested. No one wants that. I am just trying to stay cool because I hate being sweaty. That's all I'm doing when I wear small clothes in summer. I'm not dressed like a slut. You're thinking like a rapist. Alright. Now that we got that out of the way. No. Also, heaven forbid physically and conventionally attractive people be asexual. Like, heaven forbid ace people be pretty. Because that's not our fault. No one asked for that. We sure didn't. I like being cute, but that doesn't mean I want... That doesn't mean I want your hands on me, or your eyes on me, or you to make a pass at me. Please, for the love of God, don't do that. And it's not a, you can look but can't touch type thing. It's a, hey, I'm a human being. Fucking respect my boundaries, or I'm... You violate my boundaries, I'm gonna violate your boundaries by punching you in the face. There you go. Two-way street, motherfucker. But, I guess that's just such a hard concept for people to grasp. We were talking about infantilizing. How did we get here? Alistair. And he's not the first example of this happening. He's just the one in recent memory, and it's sad and it's disgusting, and I hate it here. In some cases, death truly is a mercy. Oh, jeez. Alright, hold up. Where is that? Oh wait, no, I need that. I need that down there. Flats are done! That one only took us like 40 minutes. Ugh. You know, and I also need water. And my legs are getting kind of cold because the fan is under my desk, but I know the second I turn off my fan, it's gonna get like really freaking hot in here. Because that's just my luck. Hang on, guys, I'm stretching my legs. So I don't want swollen ankles. Yeah, that part is ready for illustration. And I think for now, I'm gonna keep the illustration off. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm gonna keep it off stream because I just said streaming is just going to be until I run out of batteries. But I want to keep it entertaining for y'all. Not just the time spent live streaming, but also the quality of time. Because that's my love language, quality time. I'm gonna put these two on the same layer. And somehow figure something out with these guys. Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those papers? There we go. That does look kind of annoying with the chat bot right there. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna take a note, Edna. I'm going to take a note and say turn off Kofi link thing. Turn off Kofi bot. Until we get at least, more than 10 chatters in here, then one bot every hour isn't gonna be as annoying as this. So, next stream, Coffee Stream Bot will be dead. Or at least he won't be dead, he'll just be in the corner. Until we have need of him. I'm on the wrong layer. Okay, I'm gonna do Brindlefur and Hazelpaw on the same layer, and then Lion Stripe and Twig. There we go. Silver stalks at midnight, dancing in the moonlight. That's this funny nightmare all about. It's like a bad dream. Must have been something I ate last night. Silver stalks at midnight. Over all the boomstick. Tell me what's this funny nightmare all about? Okay, if I'm gonna use that, I need to turn that down to there. That's the wrong button. Where? There it is. Should I put... I almost said their name. This character on a separate layer. I'm tempted. No, I'm gonna color them as part of the background because it's gonna be like the, oh, you almost missed them. Just say, well, I didn't see anyone. Not clearly, anyway. Oh, for keeping your characters on separate layers, one trick I found is when you're working on one layer, like, consistently with a character, it's smart, or at least I found it's a lot easier, just to turn the other layers off. So you don't actually accidentally get confused on which layer you're working on. And clipping masks. Clipping masks will be your best friend. Because it's impossible to work on the wrong layer if if it's a clipped layer. But it also is still possible. I have somehow, by some miracle of human ingenuity, I have still worked on the wrong layer, even though I consistently used clipping masks. If you want to know how I did it, just observe. Stay tuned, because it probably will happen again. And when it does, y'all can point and laugh at me. You can throw your tomatoes. This night she calls me, she calls me, she calls me, she calls me, she sways in her velvet dress and pulls me towards her in the dark, while the others rest, while the others rest, while the others rest. That is very annoying, Twitch stream preview. That is quite annoying. Oh well. As long as the actual broadcast isn't being fucked, I think I can allow it. How many times is that gonna happen on stream? Let me tell you. Every single time. Let me tell you. Jeez, that chair is squeaky. Y'all probably couldn't hear that, but my goodness. Must have been something like last night. Oh, no, that's the wrong color. There we go. Actually, that would be that color. This would be that color. Dink. And dink. You know what I could do right now? I don't know if it'll work. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna go to... Where is it? Here it is. I'm gonna go to my Ko-fi and I'm gonna deactivate the bot right now. Alright, page. Oh, that is cool. It says I'm streaming right now on the page. That is kind of cool, but I don't have any Ko-fi donors, so... As soon as I do, though... Settings... Stream alerts... Disconnected. Dan 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 dan. There. And I can't moderate chat from what's his name? StreamLabs. For whatever reason, I can't moderate chat on StreamLabs. Bolshevik. Bot is dead. We killed it. He's not dead. He's coming back. I don't want to even say soon, but you know. Besides just being simply strange, I was an illness of the mind. With the night she calls me, she calls me, she calls me, she calls me, she sways in her velvet dress and pulls me towards her in the dark. While the others rest, while the others rest, while the others rest. Paint that girl in black, your bride. pretty sure once I get a schedule going, I think I might be able to streamline my process a bit more. This is just me getting back into it. You know? Once I'm back in the New York groove. Whoops. Oh my god, brindle fur, brindle fur, brindle fur. I did say I was a glutton for my own punishment. Part of me hoped to God I didn't mean that literally. It's not actually that big a deal. It's just, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Oh crap, almost forgot. I had to give her under eye markings because I realized her lashes kind of blend right in with her brown fur. I was just, ah! There we go. And then he's got Chungus paws. And a cream tail tip. Okay. Would we see his scars from this angle? I think we would. Yeah, it's on that paw, so yeah, whoops. I almost forgot. What color are his scars? What color did I make his scars? Damn! I think it's his ear or no? Well, now I'm mad at myself. What notes? I didn't leave in it. There. And then we don't see the rest of him. Because poor boy is really shy. Because trauma. What the balls? I'm not gonna say I'm running out of gas, because I'm not. It's just my elbow's starting to hurt. What the? Alright. You know, we could keep going with the other pages. But not gonna lie, chat, I am also getting kind of bored. It's not that I don't enjoy streaming, it's just sometimes it gets a little boring because I can't listen to music or like have a documentary playing in the background, or hell, even some creep, just like get up and walk around because I'm old and ADHD is awful. And I didn't even realize on my PNG the hair, the color on the hair doesn't move, just the line art. I didn't notice that. Oops. Which is funny, because I think I colored it separately. No, I just moved the base layer. I didn't move the the hair. Oh no. I just adjusted the lineup. Oops. That's funny. This is going to be fun to color. It's just I need to get back into the groove of doing it, and that means hyper focusing. So next stream, Friday stream, might be non-verbal, and I think that's just how I'm gonna do it. Like Friday streams are gonna be non-verbal most of the time, so I can just lock in. While Mondays and what is today? Wednesday? Yeah, and Wednesday can be chit chat. You know? But this is a lot of work done. This is actually quite a lot of work. It's 3 hours worth of work. And while I'm getting back into the groove of streaming and just generalized streaming on Twitch, I think this is a fine place to stop and start. So, yeah. Hopefully this new schedule works out, this Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing. If not, then I'll just cry. And we'll figure something else out. We will figure this out. And by we, meaning me. And my Ko-fi bot. And then I can't even do my regular outro. Or I'll just say fuck it with the outro. My social media, what the fuck? My social media links are in the about page and also in my description. So if you want to see my finished products, go check them out there. And I am gonna make an official Tumblr. I'm gonna do that. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. And so yeah, look for that in the future. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. There it is.